Can we start?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hello everyone, I'm Haripriya from Stella Maris College. I'm currently doing my third BA Sociology and a core member of Wisdom Arcadia Book Review Forum. I'm thrilled to welcome you all to our special gathering of our book review forum, and congratulations to all on successfully completing 5 weeks of our book review forum. And let's cherish our accomplishment and delve into insightful discussion again. Once again, thank you all for your dedication and commitments. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Olivandan, sir. And now let's welcome Trisha, who's currently doing third BA English Literature at SRMS Ramapuram. And she is the first reviewer of the week who is sharing her insights about Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. And Trisha, a core member of Wisdom Arcadia and also known for being warm and friendly person, and also a bookworm who enjoy reading lots of books. Let's welcome Trisha. Trisha?
Thank you, Haripriya. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay. Thank you so much for your kind words. And I also extend my warm welcome to everyone. So I'm Trisha and I'm doing my third year BA English at SRM IST Ramapuram. So the book which I'm going to review is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. So this is the book. So I'm a huge lover of Gothic literature. So I'm really, really into works like these. One of the other books which I love from Gothic literature, it's Bram Stoker's Dracula, which is also similar to Frankenstein. However, here in Frankenstein, we can see scientific aspects also. So yes, I don't want to spoil the book too much. So I won't be going much into the story, but I will rather cover what the book, reveals and other societal aspects found in the book and how it made me feel. So starting with the writing style, I'll go with the writing style. So Mary Shelley, she's a Gothic writer, obviously, but most of the Gothic novels had these epistolary writing, as in lots of letters and journals form of writing. So in the novel, the story will be expressed in a, how to say, a letter format or a journal format. In Dracula, it is in journal format as well as letter. But however, in here, in the beginning of the novel, mostly it's like letters. So this I found very interesting. Also, I would say the basic outline I'll relay. As in, this story revolves around a scientist, Victor, and his creation, whose name is Frankenstein. So, this scientist, he goes into a pursuit of finding the secret of life, as in how, human beings were given life, and somehow he finds it. So he creates a creature and gives it life. So this Frankenstein, he's seen as an abomination because his appearance is very grotesque and how to say, not very human-like. So initially, the creature, he's very gentle-hearted and very innocent. However, as time goes by, he's isolated, and this isolation and how people, treat him, this sort of slowly makes him evolve into this very cruel and sadistic creature. So the story, it is very tragic, and though Frankenstein, he is like an anti-hero, I could sympathize with him because however, I don't support his actions because he does murders and other very horrific stuff. But I would say I understand why he is the way he is. So at the end of the day, it is a relationship between the inventor and the invented. So this can, we can correlate with artificial intelligence. These if we have to go in the contemporary times, we can correlate this with artificial intelligence and how it can lead to very negative circumstances. So I would also say the this being a Gothic book, it also reveals the societal structure of those days. They those days people were really, really, saturated, as in they valued looks and they valued, the attire, how people present themselves to judge people. So they had this holistic point of view. And also, how to say, they were really, really, really beauty driven, as in they judge people based on their aesthetic and, obviously status. So Frankenstein, he didn't ask to be created. He was just there, and unfortunately, he had the appearance of, a monster. He was literally regarded as a monster, and obviously people couldn't accept him for who he was, and he was isolated so much. So, I can also sort of relate to Frankenstein because people who don't follow the societal stigmas and structure, people who, they establish that they are unique, and that doesn't fit in the conventional, roles that society expect them to be. It just, they are like alienated and discriminated, or, judged or scrutinized. So I feel like Frankenstein, he is a character who can be, um how to say, he can be compared to lots of other aspects, as in not even just human psychology, but also we can analyze him as a, how to say, an entity itself. If I do a psychoanalytic construct on Frankenstein, I'd say he was like a newborn baby when he was created, but it was the societal stigmas and the way he was treated that eventually turned him into what he is. He did not have the morality that the so-called humans had. Though they were, I would say they were hypocrites, because though they claiming that he was a monster, they weren't exactly being that innocent. They were also capable of monstrosity and savagery. So at the end of the day, Frankenstein became an anti-hero of sorts. I see him as an anti-hero, but the correct term would be a morally gray character. So he's like, how to say, at the end of the novel, however, he becomes a morally gray character, but in the middle he becomes like completely evil. So it's like in the start he's like a completely white character, very good, innocent, very untainted, and just a complete sweetheart. And our heart will go for him, it will like we can't help but sympathize. But towards the middle, when he has so much hatred towards Victor for abandoning him, because at one point Victor just abandons him and goes. I don't want to spoil the story. So the hatred and all the negativity which he harbors inside, it will slowly convert him into this monster, and he we just can't give him excuse the actions which he does. And also, the, how to say, he doesn't show any remorse in the middle when he's like completely evil. He doesn't show any remorse. He was being very sarcastic, and there's no self reflection. He doesn't even understand that what he's doing was wrong, and even if he does know, it's like he doesn't care enough. So but at the end of the novel, however, they have a heart to heart, Victor. And Victor, he somehow gets through to him. He somehow gets through to him and makes him understand his actions. And Frankenstein does express his remorse. So at the end of the novel, he becomes this morally gray character, not good or not bad, like a character who can have is a redemption. I would say I can find parallel, as in how to say, Karna, from Mahabharata, Karna. So he was in the side of Adharma, right? But he was in the side of Adharma due to his loyalty to Duryodhana, and also several other factors. How he was treated from childhood. He was discriminated because he was the son of a charioteer, and he wasn't given the same opportunities that the other Pandavas had. And that molded him, that sort of, conditioned him to be the way he is. And unfortunately, he chose the side of Dharma, I mean, Adharma, and for that he met his end, like he got the prize for that also. But I'd say he's a character that deserves redemption. So same likewise, I'd say Frankenstein, who literally didn't have the knowledge about what's good, what's bad, and constantly went through so much discrimination and alienation. And he was just left to be to fend for himself by his creator. He felt betrayed and he felt angry. So those are very similar to how Karna was. So I can find parallels between these two characters, and I feel like Frankenstein deserves redemption. Also, I'd say this also shows the human psyche as well. We can also compare Frankenstein to the people who don't fit in the mold, people who try to fit in but they just can't because they are so like, they just prefer things which others don't, and they don't give in to peer pressure. So those people we can, correlate with Frankenstein. And I'd say by reading this novel, people can really, really understand the intricacies of, the human mind and how society works, and how, people, without even realizing, they can actually, condition people through their behaviors, and, by imposing their own ideologies onto them. So it was very unfair the way Frankenstein was treated in the beginning. But however, at the end, it is revealed that he does realize all of it, but it's too late. He loses, he dies. So I'll just say this novel, it was um, it was such a satisfying read for me. I was very, very happy to have read this novel. It is a classic. It is a well-known novel, and as a gothic lover myself, I was really, really grateful that I got to read this work. So I would definitely recommend this work to all the literature lovers. And yeah, I think people who want to explore more about the human psychology and, societal stigmas and other aspects, they can literally know so much through this work. So, yes, with this, I end my review. So, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Trisha, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Your review was fantastic, and we appreciate your valuable insights. And your contribution to our community is truly valid, and we appreciate your dedication to showing your thoughts on the book. Thank you, Trisha. Now let's welcome Nitya Janani, who is currently doing second year in BSc Chemistry at Ethridge College. She is our second reviewer of the week, delving into James Allen's Foundation of Stones to Happiness and Success. Let's welcome Nitya to share her wisdom to us.
Hello, am I audible? Is my video clear?
Yeah, yes, Nitya.
Thank you for the warm welcome, Haripriya. Are we good to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Good evening to everyone gathered here. So, it's been a long time that I registered for this review forum, but finally I'm here with my review. So, I am a person who loves to read non-fiction books, especially something related to psychology, philosophy, and all those kind of books. So this time I've come with a book named Foundation Stone for Happiness and Success, written by James Allen. So from the title, I would like to what did I understand is we may have different type of success and happiness in our life, but if you want to make success and happiness permanent in our life, it always depends on what kind of foundation we lay on which we expect success and happiness to come into our life. So he talks about that throughout his book. This book is a very small book. Like within 2 to 3 hours of reading, you could complete it. And James Allen, he says that for anything that we have to do in our life, two things has to be done. One is a definite mental plan. Whatever we want to achieve or do in our life, we should have a clear mental plan of not just the destination, but also the journey. So this is what we in like now we call it to be a vision of whatever we want to achieve. The second thing he says is nature annihilates confusion, which means I believe in the power of universe, karma, and all those things. If we want something and we are very clear of it, we need to announce it to the universe, and the universe will support in making that thing happen in our life. So by explaining these two things to us, he divides this book into 5 different chapters. So if the first chapter is right principles, he says we may do a lot of things in our life, but only certain things will bring us happiness and success. So the right principles are duty, economy, self-control, honesty, and liberality. Duty means like it's, for example, if I want to actually become a good communicator or orator in my future, and that is the reason I started reading books. So that is my duty. And I've registered for this forum, so I'm sharing my insights as a review. And that is also my duty. So if we are clear with the vision, we will start doing all the small steps, considering it to be our duty. The second thing is honesty. We need to do everything in a life with a sense of honesty. We have to be truthful to us, to ourselves, to our conscience. So the second right principle is honesty. The third is economy. Whatever we do in our life, it has to align with a proper economy, which means it's not just monetary economy. It has to be the physical economy. Before starting a particular thing, we have to make sure that are we physically fit, are we mentally fit. In Tamil we say "Aaram theriyama kaala vidakodadu," and that is what he also says in the form of economy. So anything that we do, we have to analyze each and every dimensions of it, and only then we have to start working for it. The fourth one is liberality. Liberality is taking decision without the influence of others. I do a particular thing because I wanted to do it. We shouldn't do anything under the influence of others. Because if we start doing things based on the influence, we lose the intrinsic motivation that we would have inside us. The fifth is absolutely self-control. Anything, whatever we plan, how much ever simple the way may be, we need to have self-control. We need to have self-control on what we should do and what we shouldn't do. So these five things he says as the right principles: duty, honesty, economy, liberality, and self-control. So if we want to start a thing, make sure that we have a right start, and moving through each and every steps of that journey, following the right principles. Only then our success will be permanent. The second chapter is talks about sound methods. Methods that are going to attract happiness and success and positivity into one life, not just some random things. Sound methods, he says that symmetry and harmony reveals a cosmos as distinguished from chaos. When we start to do something, we need to make sure that are we following the right principles and are we performing the sound methods? When these two are in symmetry, if our actions are in symmetry with the right principles, we are going to attract happiness and success towards our life. So sound methods, he defined them as be orderly in work, accurate in speech, and logical in thought. So that is what he talks about sound methods. The third chapter, he talks about true actions. So true action means actions in accordance with truth are but for the happiness of those about him. So whenever we are doing something, we need to avoid personal gratification and personal pleasure. Humans, as social beings, we need to understand, we need to realize what is the use of this particular life. In what way are we useful to the society rather than we being useful to us? That is what he talks about. If we are ought to do something which is going to give only personal pleasure and personal gratification, it is not a true action. It is a false action. It is not a sound method at all. So when we do a particular thing, we need to make sure that it is also making the people around us happy and to have a sense of pride within us. So we had another kind of, in the principle, he talks about liberality. So we may think that, okay, whatever we have to do, we should not only think about our personal happiness, but also think about others' happiness. Then we may think that the concept of liberality is broken. So liberality comes in thought. You need to do according to your own wish. When we can harness our own talents and make it useful for the society, that itself is a very big achievement. In that way itself, we can be very useful to the society. So he says that thoughtlessness is a crime. A person who is wise, for him, thoughtlessness is a crime. So we have to be thoughtful, we have to be mindful of whatever we are doing. So we have to know about what are the effects it is going to incur for us in the future. And he also says that thoughtfulness is the inner eye. It is the conscience or the atma or whatever we have. So we have to be truthful to that particular inner eye, and we have to be thoughtful as far as possible. And he says one sentence: be you therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. So every action that we are doing, we need to make sure that we have a very clear idea of what we are doing. So wise as serpents and harmless as doves. So only then we will be able to overcome the winds of failure and the storms of persecution. Like people who watch cricket, we know that there are certain teams that haven't won any trophy at all. For example, RCB in case of IPL, in South Africa in case of World Cups. But we know that for the next matches, they come well prepared and again they exhibit the best self. How is it possible? In the sense, they follow obviously the right principles. They they perform sound actions and true actions that are always in accordance with their own thoughts, with their own conscience. So that is what he talks about in true actions. And the fourth, he talks about true speech. Our thoughts, our words are going to align with our actions. Our thoughts come in the form of actions. That is what he talks about. So he says that if he is a deceiver and a backbiter, the higher form of life is hidden from him. So, in by telling what is higher form of life, um, he says that there are certain characteristics he listed as higher form of life: uprightness, sincerity, innocence, purity, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, humility, patience, pity, sympathy, self-sacrifice, joy, goodwill, and love. So these are the characteristics of higher form of life. When we are a backbiter, or when we only think and talk about negative things, we cannot live a higher form of life. So true speech is also very important to have a good foundation of happiness and success. So he says, by the words we utter is a man's spiritual condition declared. Just by the way a person is speaking, we can understand what kind of spiritual life he's had it. And in the fifth chapter, he talks about equal mindedness. Equal mindedness, by that he means that we need to always have a sense of peace within our mind. Anything that's happening in our life, whatever it is, we need to have that sense of balance in our life. Only then we can taste that success and happiness to the full extent. Here he says that there should be absence of passion, but I'm not like accepting this point, because anything that we're doing in our life, it is actually aligning with the passion that we have. I have a passion to be a good communicator, and that is what has brought me to this forum. I have a passion, maybe, to be a good leader, and that's why I have joined a lot of clubs in my colleges. I think that it is the passion that is driving us all. But he says that there should be absence of passion. Only then you can have a very good life. I'm not accepting with this point. And he also says that, yeah, he sees the events of his life arrayed in their proper proportions and can find no room for selfish wishes or vain regrets, for vain anticipations and childish disappointments. So, with this, he says that whatever is happening in our life, the cause, the effects of our life would have always had a kind of cause in the past. So, in Tamil we say விதை விதைச்சாதான் அது வந்து முளைக்கும்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. So according to that, whatever we sow we reap. That is all. So if something bad is happening to our life, which means we have done something in our past. If something good is happening in our life right now, we have done something good in the past. So everything that's happening in your life are already in proper proportion. When you can understand that with the equal mindedness, there is no room for anticipation, there is no room for disappointments, there is no room for vain regrets. And as I said, he says, impure man is swept away in a wave of passion, The pure man guides himself into the harbor of rest. The fool says, I have an opinion. The wise man goes about his business. I'm not going to agree with this point. We cannot stay always silent for all the thing that is happening around us. At some point, we need to raise our voice. If some social evil or inhuman things is happening around us, it is the common public that should raise the voice and that should bring an end to that particular thing. But he says, if we are a fool, we should say that I have an opinion or you should raise your voice. And if you're wise man, you should just go thinking that it's none of my business. Even this point, I'm going to disagree. So with this, I've completed the review of this book, Foundation Stones to Happiness and Success. Actually, it's a very small book, I guess just consisting of 80, 90 pages. Everything is repeated, but some kind of sentences are really an eye opener for us. So that's why I thought of sharing the review of this book. Thank you for this opportunity. That's it.
Nitya, thank you so much for your valuable insight and about the James Allen's Foundation of Stones to Happiness and Success. Your review was amazing and we appreciate your valuable insights. Thank you, Nitya. Guys, now we also have an interactive section. I and Trisha will take care of it. So where you can ask any questions or share any doubts you might have. Feel free to engage with us. You can ask your doubts either in a chat box or you can raise your hands. Yeah, Tejashvi, you can.
This question is for Nitya. Can she explain chapter 2 once again?
Yeah, sure, Tejashvi. In the chapter 2, he talks about sound methods. By sound methods, he means that any kind of action that we are taking has to coincide with the right principles and your vision that you had for your future. So if you're doing anything that is not coinciding with the right principle, that is this honesty, economy, liberality, self-control, and duty, you just randomly do something which is going to waste your time and energy. It is not going to bring happiness and success into our life. That is what he explains in this chapter 2. Did I make my clear myself, Tejasvi? Yeah.
Any other questions?
Trisha, are you there?
Yes, sir. Okay, and
Hmm.
now I invite Trisha, core member of Wisdom Arcadia, to deliver the welcome address.
Yes, apologies. Had a slight network issue. So, yes, I would like to welcome Dr. P. Shanmuga Priya, Assistant Professor, Department of Sociology, And she has done so many theses, and her area of interest is sociology of media, science, technology, and society, social demography, gender studies. I extend my heartfelt gratitude for your presence, ma'am. Really means the world to us that you have decided to attend our forum. Really, really grateful. So she has been a constant, supporter for Haripriya, especially personally. So yes, and thank you so much, ma'am, for graciously accepting our invitation. I would like to welcome ma'am to deliver her, address.
Can
Ma'am,
anyone
you're not
call her?
audible. Kindly check your audio connection, ma'am.
She has to unmute herself.
Ma'am, kindly unmute and speak, ma'am.
So her mom's mic is mute, I think so. And
It's not mute actually. Her audio is not connected. She can probably talk directly to the system. Instead of any external audio jack, she can talk directly to the system. I think she's coming in another ID also.
I hope I'm audible now, sir.
Yes, madam.
Vanakkam.
You're audible, ma'am.
After a very good lunch today afternoon, this was really Sevikku Nalla Unavu. I should first personally thank Haripriya for initiating this participation in the Wisdom Academia's book review, and definitely Dr. Olivanan sir. Your efforts are really, I should say, incredible, sir, bringing in youngsters, and especially in this digital savvy world, to see these youngsters hold the hard copy of a book and then narrate about what they have read was really, really, really engaging. And more so ever, when you actually touch, feel, and read a book, the pleasure that it gives has no words to express. The two young reviewers today did an amazing job. The content that you had given about the book showed how critical you could be, not just reading a book for pleasure, but also being able to derive some treasure from what that book is trying to tell you. And also, the other thing that I noticed was these young people have not just taken up to whatever's being randomly mentioned in the book. Their own views are also being discussed in this forum, which is really a very encouraging aspect, sir. Definitely, all appreciations to you for engaging these youngsters in a very, very intellectual way. Going by the words of Francis Bacon, he says, some books are to be tasted, some books are to be digested. And the way these youngsters put across the review, actually, there could be no indigestion because all the books are very sweetly ingested into us. And if you had noticed, when Trisha, the first reviewer, the literature student that she is, was very vividly seen in the way she was able to bring about the characterization. And when she was mentioning about the role of socialization, I was very taken back, because those are some things where you have to go in to understand the complete process, where we are fine tuning ourselves according to the norms of society and all of that. For a youngster to say how valuable that process is in making up an individual shows how reading enlarges your understanding of things happening around you. And even when she was non-judgmental and open enough to give a very good characterization, though by the storyline, she knows how the character is, how non-judgmental it is. It shows the acceptance level of individual these days. And that book was really a very apt choice in today's digital world, where we are again going behind artificial intelligence, data mining, and so much of things. It shows us the place where masters, that is humans and machines, okay, our interaction, how it is going to determine our interdependence and who can rule over who. So all of this is really, really worth listening to. And when it comes to Nitya, the book that you had reviewed is like a very, very old text for self-help. But then the popularity of the book and the way you had very naturally broken it into aspects and highlighted the importance of the book revealed a chemistry person can also do a lot of reading apart from their text. And this also showed how you were inclined with that passion of yours in exhibiting yourself as a good orator. You really did a very good job, both the reviewers in that case. And I would also like to talk about how this implication of looking at ourselves through these self-help books are a very good way of building up our own personality. Because if you notice, these books, usually which are considered to be our true friends, also look into the aspect of how, when you tell us what type of books you read, we will be able to kind of assume your personality also. This is also going in lines with L.A.G. Strong's idea of why people read. Some people read just because somebody said a book is good, and hence they also want to be in the limelight of already having read that book. So they just skim through the book. Some people make it like a penance, 10 pages a day, 20 pages a day. So they want to finish it that way. If it is academic reading that way, it will do good to us. But if it's some literature or something else, actually killing the book by doing that way. One should enjoy, okay? One should read because they enjoy it or hope to enjoy it. And similarly, they should read what one likes. So automatically, the only reason that they are reading it, it should be because they like it. And I definitely think the members of this forum are doing it only for this reason, just because they like it, and they're very happy doing it as well. And so all of you, I would just like to re-emphasize. So the reading that you do it, meet the book like a living person, meet it and become friends with it. And as you're rightly doing, just don't share, keep that knowledge to yourself, keep sharing that knowledge. And I definitely think Dr. Olivanan sir will engage more and more youngsters to come into this forum, so that lots and lots of interactions like this would happen on a very regular basis. It is really, really, I should say, heartwarming to see such youngsters meet on a lazy afternoon and then have this discussion going on, where your peers might be engaged in some other media distractions at the moment. And also, when we have listened to all this, no, I feel like some books, the way we have enjoyed, will not just last till we just finish the book, but then there are some takeaways that will come, or we will be carrying it all life long. Now, being a person whose father is very fond of books, anywhere at my place, if you turn around, there are lots and lots of books that you could find under every topic. And then he treasures them. He treasures them, saying all his life earnings are only turned into books for us. The people who really understand the worth and value of such good reading will definitely pass it on to their other generation or people around them. So definitely each of you are ambassadors of reading, and definitely I hope you'd bring in more of your friends into this forum. Thank you, sir, and especially Haripriya for bringing me into this forum for your discussion today. It was really, as I told you, a fruitful evening spent.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and joining with us this evening. And thank you so much for your insightful talk. Your words were truly inspiring. And Trisha, as Trisha said, we are very grateful for your presence and words, ma'am. And your wisdom and knowledge have enriched our event. And we appreciate the time you took to share your thought with us, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. And now I invite Trisha to deliver the vote of thanks.
First of all, I would like to thank Shanmugapriya ma'am for such kind words, and really, I'm really touched. And thank you so much for your insightful, analysis as well. You did an analysis on our review, and it just showed that, that how to say, even though we are like, different disciplines, you have shown that, knowledge is just subjective. Like everyone can gain knowledge irrespective of its nature. So I would really thank you for your kind words and feedback on our review. So I would also like to thank my fellow reviewer Nitya Janani for such a wonderful review. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. So also I would like to thank Dr. Olivanan sir for being such a supportive pillar for us for this community. We will not exist without you, sir. So thank you so much. And I would like to thank Haripriya, especially my co-host today, and she's done a wonderful job in, just taking this event forward. So thank you, Haripriya, for always being such a supportive entity. You're a very important member of our core team. So thank you so much. And I would like to thank all of the members, like all of the, members from Wisdom Arcadia and every other participants who have, listened to this forum. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to everyone. Really appreciative of your patience, and thank you so much for investing your time on us, and hope you guys had a enriching time. Thank you.